Yo, what is up, 007s? Welcome back. I am excited for this because I feel like you guys are going to gain a lot of value from this. So what is this? 0 to 007 guide. Basically, this is what I would do if I had to start over. No dating experience. I never been in a relationship, never been on a date. Going back to when I was a socially awkward kid in high school trying to navigate his way around women. This is what I would do from scratch, and this is what I wish someone would have told me, because I asked my friends for advice. They couldn't help me because they weren't having success. I asked my dad for advice. I didn't understand what he was saying because it was just too much at one time. But I want to break this down, make this super simple, and help you guys start to learn how to become better at dating and stand out from, I would say, at least 90% of other guys. A small percentage of men have this knowledge. But let's jump straight into it. No more wasting you guys' time. So I'm going to talk about what I used to fear and how you guys can get over these things, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of the same doubts, right? So I used to fear not knowing what to say. I didn't want to look weird. I didn't want to look awkward, like I had no social skills. And I used to think, oh, I need to know the perfect thing to say before I walk up to her, or on the date, I need to figure out what I'm going to say before the date. And what happens with this is when you start trying to plan things and calculate things, you start to make mistakes because you're too in your head. There is no right thing to say. There's different situations, and there are different routes you can take for each situation. Some guys do pickup lines. I don't believe in doing that. But I will show you guys ways where guys mess up when talking to women, especially on the approach, where you can add your own personality to the examples I give you and use them in your own game. So, rejection. That's another thing that a lot of us fear. People in general, nobody wants to feel rejected and feel unwanted. But what you have to understand is, even if you're the most attractive guy, even if you're the most tall guy, the most rich guy, almost every guy who has approached a woman, if he's done it several times, he's been rejected. The most handsome guys you know, the guys who are the best with women, they have been rejected. No matter who you are, you're not going to be everybody's type, and I'm going to talk about how to get over that fear. The unknown, basically the end goal, right? So let's say your end goal is you want to get her back to your place to smash. You have no idea what she's going to say, how she's going to respond to it. And a lot of guys, this freaks them out. It used to freak me out. I'd be like, oh, well, I don't want it to be weird, me trying to do X, Y, and Z. But what you have to understand is you can only control where you lead things. The way that she responds to that, that's out of your control. And she's only going to react super negatively if you're coming off as indirect or not being confident. But if you're being confident, either she can say yes or she can say no. Awkward silences. I used to think if I was having a date with a girl and there was a pause in the date, it was a bad date, or she was uncomfortable, or she wasn't feeling me. Pauses are literally one of the best ways to escalate. If you know how to use eye contact and you know how to smile and position yourself in the right situation, which I will teach you guys through this, you can use these awkward silences to help yourself. Eye contact. So many of us are terrified of eye contact. I used to think if I made too much eye contact, I was making her uncomfortable. I would feel uncomfortable. But I have some methods for you guys to make eye contact. And not only make eye contact, but learn how to use this to basically build sexual tension, basically to seduce her without being overly sexual. A lot of guys think you have to say all the sexual things to get a girl turned on. You don't have to do that. You can have regular conversations, and the power of eye contact can make a regular statement a statement that moves her. And the last thing is escalation, how to, make that move, how to start intimacy and all these things. And a lot of guys overthink this. I used to overthink this. I used to think I had to have this crazy skill set and all this crazy game. Guys, it doesn't take much game. But we're going to jump into each thing broken down. So the absolute first thing that I would recommend every guy do who's starting off dating is to become a great conversationalist. A lot of guys think, oh, I need to look max, I need to get my money this way, I need to do this, I need to do that. Self-improvement is amazing. I always vouch for self-improvement. But the number one way to have a woman hooked, whether you want a girlfriend, a roster, just friends with benefits, whatever you want, is to be able to conversate. A lot of guys rely too much on their money. A lot of guys rely too much on their looks or their status or whatever they have, and they neglect the small thing like this. women are very emotional. So basically, the guy who wins is the guy who knows how to make her feel, especially positive emotions, right? So let's jump straight into it. If I could start over, the first thing I would focus heavily on is my conversation skills and becoming a great conversationalist. There have been many dates where I neglected this and it costed me the outcome I desired because I was so focused on, oh, this has to be perfect. I have to say this. I have to do this, versus understanding how to make a conversation flow and how to guide her to whatever I want her to feel through our conversation. So if I want intimacy from this woman, I want to make her feel sexual tension. I want to give her good positive feelings and good positive thoughts associated with me. The average person is not a good conversationalist, so this will make you stand out. Women care about how you make them feel above any other attribute. I'm going to repeat that. Women care about how you make them feel above any other attribute. A lot of guys think it's about money, it's about height, it's about looks. Yes, those things get you in the door. But when you can make a woman feel like she just wants to be around you, she always wants to see you, like every time she's around you, she associates you with good emotions, you have that woman any kind of way you want. Whatever relationship you have with that woman, basically you can send it whatever direction you want. A lot of guys skip out on this. A lot of guys have no mouthpiece, and that's what hurts them. When you can make her feel a combination of excitement and sexual tension, you will succeed. It's as simple as that. Whenever a woman is excited to see you and you built sexual tension, you can have her whenever you want her, however you want her. And this isn't manipulation. This is just basic human psychology. We all know women are more emotional. So we can use this to our advantage to make her have these emotions for her. That's why you see girls keep going back to their toxic exes and things like that, because these guys have mastered making her feel a certain way. They have that emotional stronghold over her where she just wants to keep coming back. She just wants to keep coming back. It's almost like an addiction. How do I become a better conversationalist? Well, I'm glad you asked. So what makes a good conversationalist is someone who can successfully storytell and make the person that they are talking to feel a certain emotion depending on their goal, which are usually positive emotions. Think about a time where you've been talking to somebody that you genuinely enjoy talking to. Like, think about somebody in your head you love talking to. Chances are you like talking to them because whenever you talk to them, you feel good. They make you feel like you're listening, like they're listening. They make you feel important. They make you feel noticed. Maybe they're good at telling stories. Maybe they're very funny. Maybe they're very witty. But they have some type of skill set when it comes to conversations that makes you want to keep having that conversation. Because if somebody's unpleasant, you're not going to want to have another conversation with them. So a good way to start building up these attributes is putting yourself in uncomfortable social situations where you are forced to figure out what to say. I talk about this a lot in my ebook. When I was in high school, I was very socially awkward. So what did I do? And this wasn't intentional. I'm not going to lie. This was accidental, but I'm glad it worked out. I went and got a job in customer service. I worked at a grocery store. Then I worked at a clothing store after I quit the grocery store. This forced me to talk to people because I have customers coming in and out. And at the time, I hated it because I was an introvert. I didn't want to talk to people. But over time, I ended up getting better because when you're dealing with so many different people, that it basically makes you learn how to be able to conversate with people from different walks of life. It's as simple as that. So once you get used to interacting with different types of people, you kind of start to learn that basically a lot of us, we have the same things that we enjoy when it comes to conversating with people. Like I said, it's the storytelling, it's engagement, it's being able to make eye contact, and it's being able to make people feel certain emotions. So I knew whenever I worked in a clothing store, I worked in sales, I knew if I made the customer feel like they absolutely couldn't live without the product, I knew I would make a sale. Or if I made them feel FOMO, like fear of missing out, like basically, let's say they wanted a shirt. Well, yeah, we're running this 30% off sale, but next week it's going to drop back to 15. So now it's a really good deal. And if you sign up, you'll get so-and-so coupon. Now I'm making them feel like, oh, I need to hurry. Oh, I need to do this. You can really drive people, especially women, by appealing to their emotions. So if she knows that you're a funny guy, you are really charming, you're really witty, she's going to want to have good conversations with you and be around you, because every time you guys talk, she laughs. You make her feel good about herself. You know how to make her feel like you're paying attention. A lot of guys want to skip these steps and get straight into the intimacy and all the other things, but these are steps that are necessary. The likelihood of you just hitting up a woman saying, hey, you trying to pull up and blank, they're slim to none. For the average guy, it's just slim to none. So you also want to put more of the focus on them. People love talking about themselves, whether it's something that they did over the weekend, whether it's something they're passionate about, whether it's a goal, a hobby, whatever it is. People love talking about themselves. So whenever you can position a person to talk about themselves, especially when it's about something that they care about or passionate about, you already got them. So whenever you go on a date, you don't want to just be saying things like, oh, what do you do for work? What are your goals in 5 years? No. Talk about things that excite them. Let's say you're on a date with a girl. You ask, what do you like to do for fun? Oh, I love to travel. Really? And she's like, yeah. Okay, tell me your best travel story. Now, this is what you're doing. When you tell her to tell you her best travel story, you're giving her the floor. You're listening. You're making her feel important, like you want to hear what she has to say. And she's automatically going to start to associate good memories with you, because you telling that story is going to put her right back in that happy headspace and mood that she was in. And now she associates that with you because she's basically reliving that moment with you. It's as simple as that. Instead of just asking, oh, what do you do for work? How long have you done that? That's not going to excite her unless she just really loves her job. But the average person, they're just doing their job for money. So you want to appeal to fun things. You want to keep the conversation fun and lively. And the best way to do that is talking about things that you're passionate about and talking about things she's passionate about. Developing a sense of humor that is natural to your personality. My sense of humor might not work for you. Your sense of humor might not work for me. But if you can learn how to make people laugh, and you don't have to be the funniest guy in the room, you just have to be able to have situational awareness. So some light teasing. Let's say a girl is like, I don't know, something like, oh, well, I don't really like this brand, or I don't really like something. Like, I had this girl tell me one time on a date, I had a shirt on. She was like, I don't really like that shirt. And I was like, really? She was like, no. I was like, that's crazy. All my shirts in my closet are just like this. It's all the same shirt. And I want to wear this shirt on every date we go on. So what I basically did is I lightly teased her. I made her laugh, and I didn't get butthurt about it. That's what a good conversationalist is able to do. You're able to read the room and turn things into your favor. And in my free ebook in the description, I talk all about that. So what should you say for the guys who don't know what to say? It's easy to be... Let me rephrase that. Basically, when it comes to knowing what to say, there is no right or wrong. I want you guys to understand that. I used to believe that there was a right thing to say. I used to think that, I had to use the same line over and over. I had to find some magical one-liner. Guys, there's no magical one-liner. Each girl is different. Different girls like different things. Like I said, everything is situational, but you can use these situations to your benefit. So I gave an example. Let's say you see an attractive girl at the mall, you want to approach her. What would most guys say? And before you read it, just pause it and guess. Okay, so what most guys will say is something along the lines of, hey, I saw you, I thought you were cute, and I wanted to get your number. This is the problem with this. Okay. One, you're giving her a compliment that she probably gets all the time. Every guy, this is his go-to. Majority of guys, this is their go-to, right? I thought you were cute, I thought you were beautiful, whatever. Okay. I don't believe in, when you first meet a woman, complimenting her appearance. What I mean by this is not some type of manipulation tactic, but compliments mean a lot more when they are genuine and when they are tailored. Generic compliments like, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're pretty, girls get that all the time. But if you can compliment her in a way that will stick out and make her remember you, it will go a whole lot further, and it will make her more enticed to get the number. Whenever you're just going up very quickly trying to get her number, She doesn't have anything to go off of other than just how you look, and is spared a moment because she probably didn't expect you to approach unless you guys have just been making eye contact or she told you to come over or something. So let's spice it up a little bit, because that's what I used to do. I used to be like, hey, I thought you were cute, blah, blah, blah. I would get rejected. So I started saying, okay, I need to create some type of emotion within her. And whether it's flattery, whether it's happiness, whatever it is, I need to reach her emotions. So this is what I started using. I would walk up to the girl. I would say something like, excuse me, let's say you're in the mall. Oh, I was just leaving the Foot Locker and I saw you and I had to let you know, your outfit is amazing. Or you have very nice style. Or you into fashion. This is what I'm doing here. I'm complimenting her on something that she worked towards, not just her God-given looks. So let's say she is into fashion or she does care about how she looks. And I'm assuming if you're approaching her, she cares about her appearance. That's going to make her day because you're complimenting her whole style. You're complimenting something a little bit more meaningful than just her being beautiful. And then a follow-up question starts a conversation. It comes off as natural. It comes off as organic. And now you can talk with her a little bit. It doesn't have to be 5-10 minutes. It can be 2-3 minute conversation. But what you want to do is you want to have a little bit of a conversation. That will allow her to pick up on your vibe. That will allow you to pick up on her vibe. And it will come off a lot more natural than just a, hey, I thought you were pretty. Let me get your number. You want to lead into a conversation, and women love when you make assumptions about them. Obviously positive assumptions, not, oh, I assume that you got 30 bodies. That's crazy. But like, whenever you make a positive assumption like, oh, you must be into fashion, especially if she's not, that's going to make her day. Those compliments hit way deeper. Make the compliment deep, not wide. Conquering your fear of rejection. This was my biggest fear. I used to hate the thought of getting rejected. And when I first got rejected, I took it personally. But what I had to learn over time is sometimes a woman can think you're the most gorgeous man in the world. She will reject you for an ego boost. She'll reject you because she's having a bad day. It could be anything. So you shouldn't take rejection personally. That's where a lot of guys mess up at. They take it personally as if guys who are super attractive or found to the female gaze, they don't get rejected. Those guys get rejected too. Don't think that anybody's safe. Most guys struggle from the beginning with their fear of rejection because most guys think they look weak or will be embarrassed. Here's the thing. If somebody makes fun of you for getting rejected, you have to ask yourself these questions. One, should I even be around this type of person? Because anybody who will make fun of somebody for going after what they want, you don't want them around you. And two, is the person that's laughing at you, are they having the success you want? Because I remember when I was in high school, I would go to football games with one of my close friends. And we would go to football games to basically pick up girls. And I was very socially awkward. I did not know what I was doing. And I failed a lot. And my friend used to make fun of me whenever I would get rejected. He would kind of laugh. But like, I realized over time, I got better at picking up girls, and he never really grew because he didn't take those shots. He'd rather watch me and laugh at me, but while you're laughing at me, every L I take, I'm getting better. So the only weak thing about rejection is you rejecting yourself. You rejecting yourself before you even go up to her, telling yourself, oh, she's going to reject me. You are not taking control of your life, and you are not going after the opportunities that you want. So that's what's weak, not getting rejected. Rejecting means you tried. That's all that means. But you not trying, that is the weakest thing you can do because you don't have enough courage to take a shot. Every guy has been rejected. Handsome, tall, short, you are no better. It's as simple as that. It's not a diss to you, but I'm just saying every guy who actively approaches women has been rejected. Obviously, there's those guys who've never been rejected because they've only approached one girl or they never approached girls. So, of course, they haven't been rejected. But guys who are in the dating field actively, you're going to get rejected. It's as simple as that. You have nothing to lose. Either you gain a potential opportunity or you leave how you came. It's as simple as that. Whenever you go up to that girl, either one or two things. Either you're going to leave with the number or whatever you want from her, or you're going to leave the way you came, which means you lost absolutely nothing. So you can only gain by making that approach. Changing your mindset because the girl you think will reject you probably wouldn't. I want to speak on this for a second. I know a lot of you guys may see an attractive girl. Let's say she's an 8 or a 9, and you're like, oh no, she's out of my league. You would be surprised because Most of the worst rejections I've ever gotten were from girls I weren't even that attracted to. I was just putting up a shot. The girls that I have the best approach experiences with were the girls I didn't think I could pull. Were the 8s and 9s and very attractive women. Because it's funny how a girl who's an 8 will view you as an 8 and a girl who's a 4 will view you as a 2. It's just all subjective. That's why I say take the shot. I don't care how bad she is. Because you never know until you know. And it's it's as simple as that. Because like I said, some of the shots I took, to me, they seemed like they were half-court shots. But once I took the shot, it became a layup. So you just have to change your mindset to understand that rejection means nothing. It doesn't. There's not a rejection count over your head saying that, oh, Tom has been rejected by 8 girls. No, nobody knows that. The only people that know that are you and that girl. And guess what? That girl is going to forget. And especially if you're never going to see her again, it doesn't even matter anyway. And if you do see her, who cares? She rejected you. Who cares? On to the next. Okay, so fear of the unknown. I used to fear that I might not get the outcome I want. And this caused me to struggle early in dating because I was so focused on getting the outcome I wanted. I forgot to enjoy myself. And that's the whole purpose of dating. A lot of people make dating super hard. They're trying to play for ranked dating. Bro, this is casual. Relax. The point of going on a date is really for you to figure out if you vibe with this woman and would you like her to be a part of your life or would you even like to deal with this woman. A lot of guys go in with the opposite mindset of, oh, I got to make this girl like me or I got to get this result. Don't worry about that. The only thing I worry about when I'm on a date is let me see what type of woman she is and let me have a good time. Because if you're going out, investing your time, investing your money and everything, I better at least have a good time. At bare minimum, I can at least have a good time. So learn how to have fun and get out of your head about, oh, well, I want to get her back to my place. I want to do this. I want to do that. If you get out of that headspace and stop focusing so much on that, I guarantee you will do it a lot quicker. Things will happen a lot more quickly and a lot more naturally. You can't control how she will react to you, but you can control your actions and enjoying yourself, which make you seem more confident. Get out of your head. It's as simple as that. Whenever you go on a date and you're just having fun, you're just doing your thing, you're not worried about impressing her, you're not worried about getting her back to your place so harshly, you will come off as more confident. Because a lot of guys try to cater to her, they try to please her and do all these other things because they're thinking, oh, if I please her, if I make her think, that I'm this way, or if I do this certain tactic, then it's going to make her want me. No, you're just going to come off as forcing it, and she's going to be able to pick up on that. That's why I say have fun. And literally, this is her applying for you. This is you figuring out, okay, do I want to deal with her? Not does she want to deal with me. She already wants to deal with me. Do I want to deal with her? You want to change the power balance. We never know how things will turn out until they happen in any aspect of life. So this is no different. And that's the honest truth. Whenever you go to apply for a job, you don't know what's going to happen. It's as simple as that. Whenever you buy a new video game, you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the game. You never know until you put yourself out there and you try what it is. And a lot of guys, they understand that in every aspect of life but dating. And it amazes me because they think, oh, whenever I go out here dating, I need to know what's going to happen and I don't want to take risk. If you don't take risk in life, you're going to lose. You have to take some type of risk. Having a 9-to-5 job is a risk. You could get fired at any moment. It's as simple as that. So dating is no different. You just have to take a risk. It's just another risk added to the column. Stop worrying about the outcome and be intentional. Lead where you want things to go. The rest is up to her. It's as simple as that. If you want her to come back to your place and, you guys are having a good date and you say, hey, you should come back to my place. I got great wine. I got a great view, whatever. You put it out there. Now it's her turn to decide whether she wants to or not. But you can't beat yourself up or try to force her or figure out a method that's 100% foolproof. There's no 100% foolproof. It's just all about the woman and it's all about how you are handling the date and what the vibe is or the interaction. Awkward silences. I used to fear that if there was a pause or break in the conversation, that meant that the date is awkward or she doesn't like me. I literally used to think that if me and a girl had like a 10-second or 20-second awkward pause, I'd be like, oh, dang, this date's going bad. But now I realize it's the exact opposite. Every conversation has pauses and breaks. No matter who it's with, your mom, your dad, your friends, family, whoever, there's pauses in conversations. Like sometimes you need to think. Sometimes there's nothing to say in that exact second. But we want to figure out how can we use these awkward silences instead of hurting us. How can we use them to our benefit? That's what I'm going to get into. So pauses are normal in every conversation, even friends and family. There's not always going to be talking going on. I just said that. Use this to your advantage. Make eye contact, smile, and allow her to strike up a conversation. This is where a lot of guys go wrong. A lot of guys, let's say there's an awkward pause or silence or whatever. They'll be in their head like, oh, I got to think of something to say. What do I say? What do I do? What do I say? What do I do? And then you end up either saying something stupid or your energy gets thrown off or you get in your head and you just make a mistake. There's no need to do that. What I like to do is, let's say a girl is sitting across from me, which I don't believe in sitting across from a girl, but let's say I'm on a date and a girl is sitting across from me. If we're having an awkward silence, I'll look at her, I'll smile, and I'll sit up and lean in. And she'll be like, what? And I'll say, you have something to say, you don't have nothing to say. And she'll either have something to say or she'll be like, oh, no, I don't, or whatever. And be like, okay, cool. And then you can consider continuing, or you can just wait, lean in, and smile at her and wait for her to have something to say. A lot of guys go wrong because they think it is my job to carry the whole conversation. I know I said be a conversationalist, but don't be an interviewer. The difference between a conversationalist and an interviewer is a conversationalist is somebody who can flow a conversation, they can lead a conversation without being overbearing. When you're interviewing someone, you're constantly asking them questions. You're constantly trying to control the dynamic, and things become forced. And instead of romantic or intimate, they become professional. That is not what you want. Professionalism is not going to turn her on. Let's talk about eye contact. Eye contact is the most subtle but effective way to build tension. That's why I brought it up with awkward silences. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to stare in her eyes. You don't want to be doing one of these. Don't be that guy. But there are two methods I use to overcome my fear. And I want to share these with you guys because they helped me tremendously, because I used to could not hold eye contact. Like I would look away. I would get kind of nervous because I'm like, am I being weird? Am I staring too hard? But these two things helped me. So the first one is the triangle method. I learned this from Teaching Men's Fashion, Jose Zuniga. Shout out to him. But you want to look in the girl's left eye, you want to look at her right eye, and you want to look at her lips. What this does is it gives her the illusion that you are making steady eye contact, but whenever you are moving your eyes from eye to lips, you are breaking eye contact, so you're not just staring at her the whole time. You're looking at her, then you're looking at her lips, which also can be a bonus because you looking at her lips can also be an indicator that you want to kiss her. So this can build up some sexual tension, but you want to do this at the right time. So what is option 2? Option 2 is the forehead to lips method. It's the same principle. When you look at her forehead, it will give the illusion that you're making eye contact. And when you look at her lips, this can be a break from eye contact and a seduction tactic. Like I said, the kissing tactic. Over time, you will build more confidence to be able to make regular eye contact. Now, I have no problem making eye contact because I built up my confidence. I've gotten used to conversating with women, and it just does not bother me anymore. It's just become a natural part of my life. But yes, you want to use the lip method when you're looking at her lips, either in two situations. These are what worked for me. Obviously, something might work differently for you. Let's say we're having a high point in a conversation. You know, we've gotten used to her. I've broken the touch barrier, and I want to go in for the kiss. I'll look at her lips, and I'll look at her eyes. I might compliment her lips. I might say something nice to her, and then I'll make my move. Or if we're at my place, she's sitting on my couch, I want to make the move. I'm looking at her eyes. I'm looking at her lips. I slowly lean in. And the reason I slowly lean in is you want to give her time to react. You don't want to just jump on her. But whenever you guys are in a high point in the conversation where the mood is good, you guys are happy, everything's flowing, If you make this eye contact, look at her lips, and slowly lean in, this will give her time to prepare whether she wants to allow the move or she wants to decline the move. But more often than not, when you are using subtle eye contact, you're smiling, you're engaging, you're having good conversation, and then you look at her lips and make the move, she will be more than accepting. Let's talk about how to touch. A lot of guys don't understand this, and I hopefully can put you on game with this. So this is where a lot of us go wrong. We're afraid to make that first move and break the touch barrier. This used to terrify me. Like, I remember so many dates where I would go on a date with a girl and she would text me after, why didn't you try anything? And I'm just sitting there like, I should have. But let's avoid that. So a perfect way to do this is when you see her on the date, open with a hug while having conversation. Her guard is down and it's not inappropriate. People normally hug when greeting each other. This is what I mean by having a conversation. Okay, let's say you and a girl, you guys meet each other at a restaurant. You guys plan to go on a date and you meet at the restaurant or you go to pick her up. Either one. Let's just use the restaurant as the example, right? Okay, you guys meet at the restaurant. You go to greet her. You say, hey, how are you? How was the drive? Just basic conversation. Go in for the hug at that moment. It's natural. It doesn't seem weird. You guys are first greeting each other. A hug is perfectly normal during the greeting. And a lot of guys say pay attention to the hug, whether she gives you the full body or the half hug. The side hug doesn't mean anything. I used to think that meant she didn't like me. The side hug might just be her comfort level at the time, but we're going to talk about how to get her more comfortable. But this hug means a lot because now you've touched her. She's touched you. You guys have made body-to-body contact, which makes it more natural for you to touch her now. I'm not saying go start rubbing the inside of her thighs or touching her crazy, but we want to work our way up to this. So, next, position yourself to win. What does this mean? When most guys go on a date, and we can just use a restaurant date as an example, right? Or a dinner date, lunch date, whatever. You go into a booth or you go to a table. What do most guys do? The girl sits on one side of the table, they sit on the other. What does this remind you of? I'll give you time to think. The first thing that comes to my mind is an interview. You're sitting across the table from somebody, you're asking questions, and you're trying to get to know their work background. I don't believe in doing this. What I think is ideal is either having a bar date where you guys have to sit beside each other, or if you do sit on a booth or a table, don't take the other side, sit beside her. And she might look at you crazy, but just be like, this isn't the interview. We should sit closer to each other so we can talk, enjoy each other. Simple as that. Just be straightforward about it. Because you sitting beside her, what it allows you to do is it puts you in a position where you're closer to her so you can naturally touch her without it seeming weird or you having to reach over the table. And it gets her used to being close to you. You guys sitting beside each other, it's not like y'all are being intimate. Y'all are just close to each other versus you sitting across the table where it's more formal, where it's more like an interview, and it makes you have to go a little bit more out of your way to touch her. So your positioning is key. And I also want to give an honorable mention. Also, whenever you get her back to your place, let's say she comes in, she sits down on one side of your couch, and you are in the kitchen grabbing her a drink, a glass of wine, some water, a snack, or whatever. Let's say you offer her something. What you want to do is, you can either do this one or two ways. It depends on how bold you are. Either, first thing you can do is, whenever you bring it, you can come and sit down right beside her. Or you can give a little space to get her more comfortable. You guys can talk a little bit. Tell her you have to go to the bathroom. Get up and go to the bathroom. When you come back from the bathroom, sit closer to her. It's as simple as that. Either you can sit close right off rip, or if you want to slowly build, if you're more of a patient, slow guy, go to the bathroom, come back, sit down closer to her. It's natural. She's not going to trip off it. She's going to notice it, trust me, but she's not going to trip off of it in most cases, especially if you got her back to your place and you guys are having a good conversation, the vibe is good, you'll be fine. So these are 3 tactics that changed my life when it comes to touching girls, because a lot of guys can't find reasons to touch girls. So I'm going to give you 3 things you can do as an excuse to break that touch barrier. So the first method that I learned this from my boy Rob that I work with. Shout out Rob. It's the jewelry method. So let's say a girl has on rings. Let's say she has a bracelet or something like that on her arms, her hands, or whatever. You want to say, oh, that's a nice ring. That's a cool ring. What's the story behind it? And then whenever she goes to tell you, grab her hand and act as if you're looking at it. Act like that ring is the most interesting thing in the world, or that bracelet. Act like it is a never before seen concept. Act like she's teaching you rocket science. Because that is a way for you to break the touch barrier. It's not inappropriate. It's not weird. You're looking at the item as you guys are talking about it, and it will make her more comfortable touching her. Because the more comfortable she is with you touching her, the more comfortable she will feel to touch you. Once you guys are comfortable touching each other, that's 90% of the battle. It's simple as that. Another tactic, tattoo method. It works exactly the same. Oh, that's a nice tattoo on your arm. What does it mean? Let me see it. What is it? Boom. Act like that tattoo is the most interesting thing in the world. even if you don't like it. Act like it is super interesting. And the third method, which is my favorite method, is the elbow method. There's a specific name for it. I forgot what it is. But basically, you can bring up like something like psychology. Like I could ask this girl, have you ever tried any psychology methods? And she'd be like, psychology methods? And a lot of women are attracted to intelligence. A lot of guys don't understand this, but intelligence is one of the most attractive things you can do to attract a woman. So what I would say is, okay, I got this psychology method I want to try on you, and it will tell me, what type of person you are. So most girls are going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Boom. Yeah, I want to find out. So what you do is you get her to give you her arm. So you do like this, and you say, okay, I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to go up your arm until I reach the crease of your elbow, which is this thing right here. So whenever you feel me touch the crease of your elbow, tell me to stop. What's going to happen is most girls, by the time you get like here, they're going to be like, stop. And that's the whole thing. You be like, no, you're way off. You're supposed to be right here. She might want to try it again. She might be interested in the method. She might want to try it on you. Now you've broken the touch barrier in a fun way. It's not weird. It's not creepy. It's just literally a strategy. It's as simple as that. And I'm giving you guys these tactics for you guys who just don't know how to escalate. Once you get better at dating, like I don't use these anymore. I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't. But when I was learning how to get better, these methods carried me so hard. But as you get better, just like eye contact, you will just naturally know how to touch a woman. Whenever she laughs, you can go for the handhold, or you can touch her shoulder, or, if you guys are watching a movie together, she's at your place, you will know when to touch her thigh. Things will just become more natural the more that you do them. Let's talk about escalation. Escalation is super important, and a lot of guys struggle with this, and I used to have the same issue. I used to be the worst at escalating. So most guys think that escalation starts when you get back to your place. This is wrong. Escalation starts from either the minute that y'all see each other on the date or the first phone call. And a lot of guys are like, wait a minute, how does it start over the phone? Okay, this is what I always recommend to every guy. The guys I work with, my friends, even in my own dating life. Before you go on a date with a girl, either get on FaceTime or FaceTime audio, some type of phone call with this girl. This will save you time, save you money, and let you figure out if you vibe with this girl before you even go on a date. So here's the thing. A lot of guys like to text. Here's the problem with texting. When you text a girl, you are covering ground very slowly. It's as simple as that. I can get basically 3 months worth of texting in progress from one phone call, because when you're on the phone, she can hear your voice, you can get her vibe, she can get your vibe, and the conversations tend to get a lot more deep when you guys are on the phone, especially later at night. Those are the best time to have those phone calls, because for some reason it's just like women are more open around those times too. But the way that you want to start this escalation is breaking that touch barrier, making that eye contact, speaking with confidence. That's the thing. When you speak with confidence, that turns a lot of women on, because most guys suck at speaking with confidence. Most guys are terrible conversationalists. It's as simple as that. I work around guys all day. Like, my field is male predominant or whatever, and those guys suck at having conversations. It's as simple as that. A lot of my female coworkers prefer to talk to me than other guys. and they know I have a girlfriend, and it's not like I'm trying to get with them. It's just I'm better at holding conversation. Most guys, either they just ask a bunch of questions or they don't know what to say, so they don't talk. So on the phone call, you want to start getting into things that other guys are afraid to say also, and on the date. And we're going to talk about that in 1 second. So escalation is not this esoteric thing. It is a simple combination of how you make her feel, eye contact, and how you speaking with confidence, and the way that you touch her. These, 4 things makes up escalation. Because when you make her feel sexual tension and you make her feel good emotions, she's naturally going to want things to escalate. She's going to be more receptive than if there's no connection, there's no vibe. The eye contact, that is one of the biggest things you can do to indicate sexual interest. Especially when you get a girl who she thinks you're attractive and she can't hold eye contact with you. A lot of girls will fold and it will turn them on, the eye contact. Because most women get nervous with eye contact. It's as simple as that. And it's not always a bad nervous. If you know how to do it correctly, and the fact that she's on the date with you shows most of the time she has some interest and attraction to you. So when you can make her nervous in a sexual way, it will naturally make her want to prove herself. It will make her want to be more intimate with you. It's as simple as that. How you speak. If you are talking to a girl or you're inviting a girl back to your place or anything with escalating, you want to be sure of yourself. You don't want to say, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to come back to my place. You have no confidence. She has no reason to want to come back to your place versus you saying, hey, we should go back to my place. I got some good ass music and I got some fire wine with a nice view. It'll be the best experience you've ever had. And you mean it and you're looking her in the eyes. She's going to be more enticed to go. You have a selling point. You're speaking with confidence and you sound sure of yourself. No woman wants to be with a man who isn't sure of himself. And how you touch her. Like I said, when you start to break that touch barrier and she becomes more comfortable with you guys touching each other on top of the sexual tension, sometimes she'll even make the move first. Obviously, that's not going to be the case every time, but these things combined will cause escalation. It will cause sexual desire. The goal of the date when planning to escalate is to get her mind prepared for intimacy way before you even make that move. Using eye contact, speaking with confidence, and asking questions that get her head thinking sexually without being directly sexual. You don't have to come out and just tell her, I want to do this, I want to do that. No, there are questions that I like to use that I'm going to give you guys that I use to get a woman's mind in a sexual headspace. So whenever I'm talking to a girl, I'll throw something out there like, what are your turn on and turn offs? And what's the question most girls are going to ask? Or where did their brain go? Like sexual turn on and turn offs? That's normally the answer I get. And I will flip it on her. So what I will do is I will say, nah, you're a freak. I mean, like, what are your regular turn ons? Let's slow down a little bit. Okay, a lot of guys will think this is counterintuitive. Well, if she's asked about sex, why wouldn't I keep talking about sex? It's too early. You don't want to do that. You want to get her thinking about it. That type of question, turn on and turn offs, people naturally associate that with sex. But when you flip it on her and be like, whoa, you need to slow down. We're just getting to know each other. You're basically sending a message that, hey, I'm not thirsty for the sex. It can be on the table, but I'm not thirsty. I'm not over pursuing it. I'm taking my time. I'm chilling. That makes you look more confident. That makes you look more attractive. And that makes you look more experienced with women. Because what is the guy with the lack of experience doing? What is the average guy doing? He's jumping on that door. He's jumping straight on it. He's going straight through the door. You don't want to do that. You want to take your time with this. Or another example you can use. What's the wildest thing you've ever done? Because I got a crazy story to share with you after you tell me. You could say something like that. Okay. When you ask this, it's the same effect. She's going to be thinking, well, does he mean sexual? What does he mean just in life? Does he mean in general? Because you want to start to play into her fantasies. You want her to start reliving positive moments with you. It's things as simple as that. And it's also teaching you things about her as well. And if you can remember these things and bring these up in later conversations, she will love you even more. Because whenever somebody shows engagement, especially with women, when you show that you listen, you remember, and you're engaging on the things that she told you, this will drive her crazy because most guys on dates are not listening. They're just thinking about smashing. If you draw your mind back from smashing a little bit, it will do a lot of the work for you as far as escalation. That's where most guys mess up. They're so caught up in trying to escalate. And I think that is the last slide. So basically, I hope this video really helps you guys. I can go more in depth on a part 2 if you guys want me to. I do have a free ebook that will be in the description, along with my email, where you can email me for a one-on-one if you do want a one-on-one, and you want your results custom to you and you want them faster. You can set up a one-on-one with me. The first consultation is 30-minute call, and it's completely free, where I go over everything that you might need help with, and we can come up with a plan for you. And if you want sessions after that, I do have hourly rates, and we can work together and get you the best results possible. But yeah, if you have a question, a video request, or anything, you can email me. My email will be below, or you can feel free to DM me on Instagram. I hope this video really helps you guys and brought you guys some value. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.